Welcome to this tutorial on how to paint a loose watercolour, painting a little bit more loosely than you may be used to. And it's a great advantage because it's something you can do in half an hour or whatever. You can just do is pay attention to your drawing, but try and keep your drawing fairly loose as well, just like quite vague. And as I'm doing here, I'm just adding a few key lines where I know I'm going to be needing to paint. So we're going to do this in 3 stages. The first stage is just like a full backwash, and I'm going to paint the main subject in one big shape, but we'll have colours merging into each other. And that's a trick to a nice loose watercolour. You need to have different varieties of warms and cools. So at the bottom I'm going to put a few points of interest, some people walking, and just to fetch the eye down to the bottom of the painting where it's going to be a little bit more colourful. So first we're going to just add a little bit of a background wash, a bit of a mixture of ultramarine blue and purple for the sky, and we just let that dry, and then we move in. I've got a bit of cadmium yellow and a bit of Indian red, and a bit of I think it was orange, that one, cad orange, just to blend some colours down. So if you noticed, I'm not really paying too much attention to the edges, and just making it nice and loose and letting these colours, different colours, merge in. A little bit of opera rose there, and let them merge in to each other to make a nice pleasing blend. So we've got different warm colours, and now as we can move further down, I like to put a few cooler colours, a little bit darker as we go down to the bottom of the picture. So a little bit of purple. I do like purple in paintings, especially in the shadow areas. I'm not a big fan of using black, to be honest with you. I use a bit of Payne's grey now and again, and maybe add a bit of French ultramarine with it just to make it feel a bit cooler. So this is now a bit of olive green in the tree. The paint above it isn't quite dry, which is good, and because I want it to slightly run, but I'm taking care to leave a couple of white areas as well. This is an olive tree to the right hand side, and as you can see, I've just mixed up a few extra colours with that, making it a little bit lighter, a little bit warmer. So as you notice, these brush strokes are really haphazard. They're really easy. There's no great shakes in it. I've got some canopies at the bottom which I'm going to add. I'm negative painting those. Now some darker colours there, but very careful this point to go over the tops of your characters. That's probably the most careful you're going to be on a painting like this. As I move out, and just make it a little bit darker as I come down as well. Little slurp of my coffee there, and I've just added some dark area at the bottom of this painting. Add a little bit of warm colour there as well. So as you can see, it's all one big shape, that. And now this point, this is where we can start to make the building a little bit more 3D by putting some light shadows in this area, and they're not the dark shadows, they're actually shadows of colour, and that'll just give it identify that 3D effect, the shape of the building, just the shape of the building, and then it all starts to come together. But take notice on your reference photograph of where the shadows would be lying. Nice and simple. And because with painting wetting, where it's lovely, it just paints itself and blends into each other. The colours just blend from opera roses right the way through to a purple. And this is a darker part here. This is, I call this stage 2. And these are just, so I'm putting some extra darker areas in these olive trees, but I'm making sure to leave lots of the previous colour shining through, otherwise it'd be completely pointless doing that in the first place. Right, so that's dried now. Now this is the third part where we put some darker colour in. This is more like shadow colour, proper shadows, you know, dark areas, and this part is going to fetch it all to life. It's going to make it pop out. And just putting some windows in here and some shadows underneath the eaves of this little building. Now it's just like drawing into it really, isn't it? Some windows. We don't have to be completely accurate, don't have to say, oh, there's 7 windows there. Doesn't matter, really don't matter. The only way the person who's going to shout at you is the architect. You do it, you're happy with it. Some darker areas here, to the bottom of that olive tree, and bring that down. And see how loose that is, and it seems to work. Yeah, let's get some characters, get some faces in there, and a bit of skin colour. And try and let the coats blend into each other, otherwise it becomes too illustrative. There we go, put these colours on these canopies now. And now the final stage is getting some really dark areas just to identify things. And I like to put some dark, really dark at the top of my windows, like a shadow within a shadow, as it were. So we'll put some just at the top there. And that's as easy as it gets. Yeah, that is so simple. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and check out my website.